Hey guys, it's that Dividend guy coming at you with another Robinhood portfolio update. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully everybody's having a GGD, a great green day in the market. You know, I always wish the best for my viewers and subscribers. So guys, we're going to go over the overall portfolio, the individual performance based on the stats, the buying power, of course, the individual holdings and how they are performing, seeing if there are any other deals within the portfolio since we are down a little bit today. And then, of course, we're going to go over my watch list and what I plan on buying with that Altria dividend that comes in on the 30th. So, guys, with that being said, let's jump right in. Right now, the portfolio is being valued at $51,304.60. Of course, that's going to fluctuate due to the fact that the market is open. But as of right now, for today, we are down $180, down 0.34% for today, which means that we might have some deals within the portfolio. Next, we are up $1,417.99 with a 2.887% return for the past week. Then we are down $1,527.87 with a 2.89% loss for that 1 month mark. Then we are up $1,665.42 with a 3.35% return over the past 3 months. Then we're also in the green with $1,495.91, a 3% return year to date. Then we are up $212.26, about a 0.5% return for the past year. And then, of course, all time, we are up $16,000.71, a 45.3% return all time. So, guys, that's great to see. I love seeing that long-term trajectory remaining positive. So just remember that as an investor, it's more important to focus on the long term, because in the short term, anything can happen, right? We, of course, have a bunch of earnings reports coming out, so companies might miss earnings. There might be some news reports. There's always something that could bring the stock down in the short term. And if you are worried about that, if you focus on that, you're going to be buying and selling great companies that for the long term could give you some really good returns. But the only way that you're going to lose money in the stock market, right, is if you decide to sell at a loss. It's all an emotional choice, guys. So it's up to you to remain diligent and understand your companies and what's going on. So say, I know Realty Income is down right now, right? If Realty Income misses earnings for 1 quarter, and say their occupancy rate goes down to, I think it's been 95% for the past 20 years. Say it goes down to 92%. Am I going to freak out on that statistic, that one thing that they're highlighting that's bad? Or should I focus on the entirety of the report and say, you know what, maybe income is down a little bit, but do they have enough cash to keep increasing and paying me a dividend? And if the answer is yes, if the business is still relatively healthy and they're smart about how they're allocating their capital, I don't mind. Right? A bad earnings report, missing earnings, and maybe not coming in as high as they were expected to, is actually a short-term positive for an investor, because you want that to happen. You want there to be some BS reason, like say interest rates are up, or they miss an earnings report, something that's not really in the company's control. Like earnings, of course, are going to fluctuate. It's not a huge deal as long as they are still growing relative to the year before, and they have trajectory and understand the long-term business view on how they're going to be growing. It's not a huge deal. So short term, it's a voting machine. It's all opinions. It's all emotion. Right? And if you can harness that and use it to your advantage, you're going to make a lot of money in the stock market, because there's a lot of people that invest that are so emotional about their holdings. Like Apple goes down 1% in a day and they sell it because they think Apple's going to zero because it's down 1%. That's not the type of investor I want to be. Right? That's not the type of person I want to be when I'm investing. I want to have a long-term mindset. So when something like, say, Apple's iPhones don't sell as much as they thought they were going to, or interest rates go up by 1.2%, Realty Income drops, or CocaCola has a product that doesn't bring in as much sales as they want and it craters the stock, you want to be able to identify your companies. This is why it's so important to understand what you own, guys, because you want to be able to distinguish and determine what is a actual issue with a stock, what's an actual fundamental issue with a company versus what's BS that the news is feeding you. What's an emotional reason the stock is down versus what's a fundamental reason that the stock is down, right? If Coca-Cola sales drop by 50%, that I'm worried about, that I want to look into, that I want to understand. But if Coca-Cola releases Coca-Cola coffee and it doesn't sell 50 million units like they thought, and it sold 15 million and they're at a loss for that one product line, but their other products cover it and they're still in the green, I don't care, right? So understand your companies fundamentally. That's why I don't own 50 stocks or even 20 stocks. I don't feel like I can actually analyze and understand that many companies on a one-on-one level, on an intimate level. So that's why I invest how I do. That's why I don't own a whole lot of stocks. That's why I'm kind of lenient to add more. I want 10 because I feel like I can easily handle that. But up to like 15, I don't think I could do as well. So sorry for the rant, guys, but it's good for you guys to understand kind of where my head's at and how I think about investing, because it might help somebody who's freaking out. Like some people might say, okay, you're down $140. Why aren't you selling out today? Because my portfolio is worth $51,000. I'm not worried about 100. If somebody's, here's how you got to look at it, guys. If I have $51,000, am I going to be mad that somebody took $146? Yeah, but is that worth selling the whole 51? No, it's not worth it. So that's how I look at it in the short term. So jumping into the individual holdings here, we've got Realty Income at 53.63. So it looks like it's in the green a little bit today, which should help our overall, but I'm sure we're still down quite a bit. So 170 shares of Realty Income, $9,100 of market value. Average cost is $65.03. Around 18% of the portfolio is in Realty Income. Today we're at $42, so we have a little bit of a gain there for today. But total, we're down still $1,900 with a 17.5% loss here on Realty Income. So as of right now, I'm assuming, because I haven't looked at the portfolio yet today, but I'm assuming that Realty Income is still going to be the stock we end up buying. Hopefully I can buy I think I can buy at least 5 shares pretty easily. But this is one of those things that I said when we were going over the metrics, was this is something that is not in their control. They can't help interest rates. Everybody, every person, every business, everybody in the world has to deal with interest rates. It's not something that we have any control over. It's just something we have to adapt to. So Realty Income and every other REIT in the market is dealing with this too. So it's not just Realty Income. They are one of the bigger REITs and one of the most popular REITs. So that's why they get slammed so hard when something like this happens. But every single REIT is dealing with this same issue. So right now, honestly, would probably be a really good time to look at that whole sector, because they're all going to be down just because of the environment that they're forced to be in currently. Doesn't mean that the companies are bad. Doesn't mean that the companies are going to zero, or that they're not well run, or that they don't allocate their capital wisely. It just means that they're in an high interest rate environment, and that's going to bring everything down. So being down nearly, a little over $1,900 doesn't bother me. It's a good buying opportunity for a company that I liked at 65, so I'm going to love it at 53 or 54. Then we got Coca-Cola sitting at 61.31. 67-cent gain today, 15 shares, $920 of market value. Average cost is $60.54. 1.8% of the portfolio is in Coca-Cola. Today we're up $10, 1.1% return. Total, we're up 11, about a 1.3% return. Guys, I love Coca-Cola. I want it to drop a little bit before I purchase more of it. I do want it to be one of the big 3 pillars within the portfolio. And I've actually gotten a lot of flack for wanting to own Coca-Cola, which is kind of funny to me. A lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't you buy something like MasterCard that has higher profit margins, or Costco, or, even Pepsi? And I said, you know what? I don't like those companies as much. Like, I understand Costco. I've done research on MasterCard. I just prefer Visa. Of course, you're always going to have people that are going to bark back and forth with you about your stock picks, right? And I love Coca-Cola. It's one of my favorite companies. I've drank it my entire life. I'm stupid for not owning it. It's just one of those companies that I understand intimately. I use daily, and I want to own it. Even if the overall returns aren't great, it's a business I want to own because I trust the business. I like the business, right? So sometimes it's okay I mean, Buffett says this too. He said he didn't understand technology, so he didn't own Microsoft. He doesn't own Nvidia. He doesn't own Tesla. There's stuff that he doesn't own because he just doesn't understand technology. That's okay. It's okay to admit that you don't understand companies, right? And it's actually better for you to admit and just not be egotistical about your investing, because if I say I can understand everything and then I buy Nvidia and I don't actually understand how the chip market works and I get, destroyed because I don't understand what I'm investing in, that's on me, right? You're only hurting yourself for saying you understand the whole market. So like, I don't understand semiconductors. I don't there's a lot of stuff I don't understand. Like I wouldn't invest in Nvidia. I don't understand electric vehicles, so I don't own Tesla. I'm a fan of them. Like I like the way they look, right? I like that they're electric powered. Like I joke that I would want one someday, but I'm not going to own the stock because I don't understand the business model, right? And that's okay. I don't own any materials or chemical stocks. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like General Dynamics or Raytheon Technologies. Like there's a lot that I don't understand. So I don't go looking for deals in places that I don't understand, because how am I going to understand the deal if I don't understand the stock, right? So this is just, Coca-Cola is just one of those stocks that I understand fundamentally. And I'm okay with sacrificing a little bit when it comes to an overall return to own quality that I understand. Because I don't consider it a loss if I don't understand Nvidia and Nvidia is up 700%, that's great for the people that understand Nvidia, but I don't understand that stock, right? So I'm not going to play ball in a game that I know I'm going to strike out in. There's no reason to swing. So that's why I love Coca-Cola. I've just been getting a lot of like, why do you want to own it and kind of things, why do you own it when it's a slow growing company? And it's because even if the growth is slow, I trust the company. I love the company. I use it. So don't allow people to rattle you when it comes to your stock picks, because everybody's going to have something to say and it's not their money. So don't worry about it in the long term. Next, we got Altria. This is another one of those that I get slack for owning, but I smoked for a while. Not proud of it, but I want to get some money out of that industry because I put some money into that industry. So we're sitting at $42.99 right now, 320 shares, $13,750 of market value. Average cost is $47.27. Around 27% of the portfolio is in Altria. As of today, we're up nearly $37. Total, we're down only $1,300. So the stock has come up, guys. We were down, I think, like almost 15% on Altria. So it's been going up. We're only down 9%. So even though we're down, we're still not down far enough that this would be a better deal for me than Realty Income. So I'd still put the money in Realty. But a dividend coming in of $313.60 on April 30th. That's going to be added to our 150. So we're going to have like $160 some dollars. Sorry, $460 some dollars when that dividend hits the account. And as of right now, I'm going to be putting that into Realty Income. But guys, I understand why this stock is not liked. It makes a toxic product. But at the end of the day, guys, people have been smoking for generations. So it's like if they choose to use a product that kills them, that's on them. It's the same thing for drinking and driving. Like everything comes down to a personal choice. Like should they be allowed to do it? I don't know. You could say the same thing for investing. Like if an investor's dumb about where they put their money and they don't understand Bitcoin and they lose $10,000 on Bitcoin, does Robinhood, does Charles Schwab or Vanguard or whoever, do they have a responsibility on their platform to protect people from stupidity? I don't think so. If you choose to put money in something you don't understand and you lose it, that's on you. I've had friends, because I've invested for a few years now. So I've had friends that are like, oh, I put my money in XYZ stock. And I'm like, dude, what do they make? What do they do? Do you even know what they do? And they don't know. Guess what? They get bit. They lose money on it. And I'm like, if you just buy some random freaking ticker symbol with no clue how it's performing or why it's doing, what it's even producing, how are you going to be able to determine whether or not you should even own it? And then they always say, oh, well, it was going up. Sucker's going up. Sounds like Peter Lynch, the old quote that he said in one of his famous talks. The sucker's going up. That's why I own it. It's not why you own the stock. You're gambling then. So don't put money into things that you don't understand. But also don't let people rattle you about the stocks that you own. Like, yeah, is there a moral issue with the stock? Yeah, I get it. There is. But I did it myself. So I was stupid. I smoked. So I want to get some money out of it. So even though it's not my favorite holding, it does bring in the most amount of money. And like I said, I want Coca-Cola to be the bigger payer in this month anyway. So eventually it's going to dwarf Altria as in a total amount of the portfolio. So I'm not worried about it, guys. Eventually Coca-Cola will outpace it. Next, we got Apple. This is one of my personal favorite stock. So Apple's at 168.68 or 72 or 68 because it keeps changing. But of course, we got one share, so the market value is going to reflect the current price. 132.66 is our average cost. 0.33% of the portfolio is in Apple. Today we're up $1.80. Total we're up $36 with a 27% return here on Apple. Guys, I want Apple to be the single biggest position in the portfolio. If it goes down, I will purchase it. If it gets close to 140, I will be adding to my position. But it's at 170, around 170, so I'm not going to touch the stock at these levels. So I'm okay with being patient on Apple. It's a high quality company, one of the highest, if not the highest quality company in the world besides Microsoft. So I'm okay with waiting. It does suck because I want to put more money in this set of months so my dividend income goes up, even if it's only by a little amount because Apple doesn't pay that much. But I'm happy waiting, guys. I have other opportunities, and I'm setting money aside specifically to put money into Apple. Next, we got AbbVie at 168.35. It's kind of funny that Apple and AbbVie are around the same price. We have got 95 shares of AbbVie, almost 16K worth of market value. Average cost is $95.19. 31% of the portfolio is in AbbVie. Today we're down $113. Total we're up nearly $7,000 with a around 77% return on the stock. And AbbVie's paying me on May 15th a dividend of $147.25. So guys, I love AbbVie stock. This is a classic Peter Lynch pick because he says water your flowers. So even if I don't add money to this position, I'm watering my flowers simply by reinvesting the dividend or using the dividend to buy something else. So just simply by holding it, I'm watering the flowers in the garden because it's got such a great return. But this is one of those classic analyze a deal and, and just let it ride out. I love the stock. I'm going to hold it until the dividend gets cut or the fundamentals change in the business. But AbbVie is definitely one of my favorites and the best performer so far. And the dividend's grown as well as the stock price appreciation. So I can't complain about that, guys. And then, of course, we got T. Rowe Price at 110.81, which is around my average cost. So we got 100 shares, $11,000 in market value. Average cost was right around 110 per share. So we're up a little bit. Around 22% of the portfolio is in T. Rowe Price. Today we're down 113, 1%. Total we're up 108, right around 1%. So guys, I love T. Rowe Price. A couple years ago it was sitting at 200. I think it could get to that price. So I got it around 100 and I think I could double my money. Plus the dividend is just going to make the returns even better. So I love asset managers. I felt like it was undervalued at 110, so I bought it. And I'm going to let it ride. Like I said with AbbVie, I'm going to let the flowers grow. Even if I don't reinvest because the stock price goes up a little bit above my average cost, it's still going to grow within the portfolio due to the dividends and the stock appreciation. So I love T. Rowe Price, guys. I think it's going to be a huge performer in the mid to long term. And in the short term, if it keeps dropping and goes below my average cost, I'm going to just keep buying up shares. Then, of course, guys, we have Google. So I love Google stock. They own YouTube, so I'm going to own them for the rest of my investing career as long as I like the search engine model and the advertising plus YouTube, which is all pretty much advertisements. But it's sitting at 159.50. With one share, my average cost is 155.47. 0.31% of the portfolios on Google. Today, we are down 41 cents. Total, we're up $4 with a 2.6% return. Guys, Google's going to be in the top 5 of the portfolio. I want it to go Apple, Visa, Coca-Cola, either Google, and then Berkshire. Those can switch. I don't mind. But I do want Google to be in the top 5 of the portfolio, which is going to take a while, given how big some of my positions are and given how much some of the positions have grown since I purchased them. But guys, Google's just one of those powerhouse stocks. I understand it intimately. I should have owned it a long time ago. I'm glad I scooped up a share, but I do want it to grow. And again, just like with Apple, I just got to be patient and take advantage when I can. And then, of course, guys, we've got the watch list. I want Visa at $250, so $275 is still a bit too pricey for me. And then, excuse me, Then, of course, we've got Berkshire. I want that at like 300 to 350, and Meta, I want it like 250. So I'm not going to touch any of my watch list for a while unless I decide that if I have extra cash, I might just buy a share of Visa and do what I'm doing with Google and cost down average. So guys, with that being said, we did hit 700 subscribers recently, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you guys for sharing the videos. I noticed that there's been a lot more shares lately, so if you guys enjoy episodes and want to share it around and share my journey, and I mean, tell me about yours, go for it. I think it's great. I love the interaction. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button on the video. Also comment, let me know, if you guys having a GGD, or you guys having a down day, what are you buying if you're down, I love having those conversations. So thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button on my channel, That Dividend Guy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another Robinhood portfolio update. Take care, guys.